What's up guys, 50 here bringing you guys a Slayer loadout. If you don't know what a Slayer loadout is, it's pretty much a loadout meant for kills and not really support type. So let's get into it. There's quite a bit of stuff I want to cover, so this is the part 1 of the Slayer loadout. First thing you want to be doing is you want to skip the second supply box, and by that I mean you want to flank it. And over here on the dam, I use the catwalk. I already got 1 kill there. And now I'm patiently waiting here to see if these guys come towards me, and he does. Remember that guy I downed earlier? That guy was probably going there to revive his buddy, but unfortunately I cut him off. And now I'm gonna cut off his buddy as well. The reason you want to be flanking is because people don't expect you to be, you know, coming from behind already. At this part I was also using covert level 3. The 2 guys in the back did see me, however they weren't able to mark me, so the guy in the front had no idea I was here, and I get some pretty easy kills. I just got 3 downs already. So guys, learn to flank, especially this in the beginning. People don't expect you to be coming around, and you can really catch enemies off guard. I don't know what this guy was doing. Here on high school, remember there's a box on top, so instead of going on top I'm gonna go underneath it and I'm gonna try and come around. I noticed that no one has come there because my teammate is there all alone, so I decided to go to their main supply box, hoping to catch them off guard, right? So I'm going towards, and guess what? Again, I'm right behind them. They're not expecting me here, so they don't have their defenses up, and I get pretty nice kill right there, easy in the back. So guys, remember, always flank the second supply box. People don't expect you to come. Now let's go back to our lakeside gameplay. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna flank the second supply box. I'm gonna go down the middle. I don't know what happened here. I don't know why this guy was standing still. Maybe he lost connection, but get a nice free kill. You know, just flanked it. I see more guys coming towards, and these guys don't know where I am because I was using a suppressor, and look at this. It's a fucking party. Easy kills, guys. So people don't expect you to be flanking all the time, and you can really catch people off guard doing this, using this technique. So go for it, guys. Again, I got 4 downs already, and you want to be using a silencer on your gun because with that they don't suspect that you're coming in, and even if you down someone, they don't know where you shot them from, and you can be pretty hard to track. They will go for the revive and you can finish them off. So I hope I made my point clear on this. I know it's second supply. The downside to that is you're not getting a board from there because you got a few downs, which kind of sucks. This developer system can't really help it, but you're sacrificing a nail board, which will get you maybe 1 or 2 kills, right? For potentially 3 or 4 kills, which, you know, I would say it's a fair trade-off. I decided to go to this supply box because I have a feeling that these guys are also gonna come here, just because, you know, they were all dead and they couldn't spawn at the cabin because one of my teammates were there. And since I have a semi-auto, I would like the best one-on-one weapon in the game, so I was pretty confident enough that I could get these guys. I should have healed myself from the first med kit, but the reason I opened the supply box was so I would get another med kit as well, because if you're low on health, supply box will give you a med kit. Now I'm gonna talk about loadouts as well in a bit, but one thing I just want to make sure: know your spawn points. Always, either be heading towards the supply box or towards the spawn point. Potentially you want to head towards the supply box where you think the enemies are at and try and flank them. That's what you want to be doing. Here I'm gonna spawn, and you know, make your Molotovs. You guys, Molotovs are really great, especially if you're flanking, since you're gonna be getting behind them all the time. So it's a really nice idea. And using things like bombs and smoke bombs, obviously. Now let's get into loadouts. The first thing I want to say, semi-auto is the best weapon in the game. The loadouts I show in this game do have semi-auto on them. Obviously you can substitute that for a burst rifle. As for the perks, you want to be using something like covert training level 3. Covert training is great. First of all, what it does, it hides you from listen mode when you're crouch walking, which is great, and it makes it so you cannot be marked. Over here I downed that guy. He couldn't mark me, so his teammates have no idea where I am. Look at this. He had no idea. He was being really cautious, but he clearly had no idea where I was. Another example of this is right here. Notice how I'm behind the team again. I down him. Now his buddies have no idea where I am because this guy couldn't mark me because I was using covert level 3. So I'm just gonna wait out here. I see his buddy go for a revive, and look at that, another easy kill. And then it's gonna throw a bomb here because remember, use bombs and Molotovs. So covert training level 3 is great. It prevents you from being marked. Another perk I want to talk about is Brawler. Now this is a pretty good perk, especially if you get in like close quarters combat. You can just punch them out if you have Brawler level 2 on because you heal health. However, Brawler level 1 is okay. I mean, the problem is if you're skipping the second supply box, there's a pretty good chance that you won't get a board, making it a really not a very great perk at all. Next perk I want to talk about is something like the Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter is also another great perk for, you know, one-on-one combat or just in combat in general, just because it lowers your scope wobble. But the main thing that it's useful for is lowering your damage wobble, just because when you get shot at with something like a semi-auto especially, or even 9mm, your aim can be thrown off quite a bit and it can get really hard to aim at people because of that. Sharpshooter helps you by preventing that. Over here, I did not revive my teammate just because I'm not really playing that role of a support player, and so I just distracted them with nail bombs and smoke bombs. And the other guy used a pretty good tactic with a nail board, which is you pretty much run, and then once you turn a corner, you wait for that guy to come around the corner, and then you put a nail board him. Great little tactic, guys. If you don't know how to use it, then use it. Now let's get back into your loadouts. Explosive Expert level 2, a great perk. What it does is, if you're using a Molotov or nail bomb and the other guy has armor on and full health, your nail bomb or Molotov will break everything. It will break their armor and it will down them as well. That's a big difference between level 0 no Explosive Expert and Explosive Expert level 2. As you increase the level, you'll notice that you're doing quote-unquote more damage just because the blast radius is longer, and therefore there's more damage being done at the core. The third perk I want to talk about is Marathon Runner. It's a pretty underrated perk. I don't know, people don't use it as much just because they think that all it does is make you run. But that's key, because in some situations, if you're using covert, you can just run in there, shift someone, and then just bail. Or if you're using or if you're the last man standing, you can really use that perk to just run away and then get to a supply box a lot quicker. And it's really useful to get out of sticky situations. One of the best perks, I would say, for a Slayer loadout. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is somewhat about movement. Always be aware of where your teammates are at, and from that you can judge where the enemy team is located. Over here, I know my teammate is down on that side, which means pretty obviously that the enemy team is somewhere on that side. Always mark. You know, you're marking not only for your teammates, but mark for yourself so you can keep track of where they're going. I saw him run in this direction, so I'm gonna go in this direction as well. You wanna be somewhat stealthy. You don't wanna be rushing in there, especially since you're out alone. If you're gonna be alone like I am right now, then take your time, don't rush in. Maybe let your teammates catch up, maybe let your teammates start move as well, getting closer. So as you can see, I'm being really patient here again. One thing you want to be doing is, if you see someone, then you want to kind of hang back a bit and just let them get to you. Like for example, right here, this guy's coming in and I'm just gonna wait him out. I'm just gonna wait until he gets really close and then pop out. And of course my aim failed somewhat there, but I still got him. That's something you want to be doing. If I had shot him earlier, he would have taken cover behind a boat or something, and then it could have been a long drawn out battle. Of course this guy rage quit because everyone loves to rage quit in this game. Again, use your teammates to determine where the enemy is. All my teammates are moving down there, and I know they were all down there, so the enemy's probably down there as well. However, I did get shot in the back with an arrow from that side, and I don't have a med kit, so what I'm gonna do is pretty much bail. You know, don't be afraid to run away. If you're low on health, don't have medkits, then run away. Don't go in there and just die. Now my teammate marks this guy. I can go right around the trailer, but I have a feeling that he's waiting for me because my teammate is right at the supply box. So I'm gonna go around and get a nice little shiv off. Again, I'm at a point now where I don't know exactly where the enemy is. However, I do know the enemy spawns on the lodge or near the supply box. However, two of my teammates are already at the lodge, so they're clearly not there because they can spawn the enemy beside them, but it's highly unlikely that's gonna happen. So what I'm gonna do is, again, look at my teammates to figure out their locations of their enemy. I see one of my teammates get shot there, so I know for a fact that this guy is on this side, clearly. And I'm gonna go up here as well again, just because I'm just judging their locations based on my teammates. So hopefully this video, because there's so much I can go on about, so for this video I just focused on using your teammates to find the enemy location and skipping the second supply box, as well as over some loadouts. Next video I'm probably gonna do later, I kind of want to talk about, you know, how to always just know where the enemy is based on like spawn system, kind of like talk about spawn points, and something like shooting the enemy from your own spawn point, or determining where the enemy is headed to instead of just killing them straight away. And then maybe bringing in like support perks like crafter and first aid to make like a hybrid loadout. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please comment, share and subscribe if you liked it. Bye.